One of the biggest problems with the Miami Mall incident is the complete lack of hard evidence. No body cam footage, no security footage, no clear video showing exactly what happened that night, which means whether you're a believer or a skeptic, you're left with one thing: the witnesses. Over the past few weeks, I've been digging into some of those witness accounts because, as promised, I'm not letting the Miami Mall incident just be forgotten until, I don't know, we get something. Because regardless of what really happened that night, there are witness testimony that does not align with the official explanation. While going through all of these accounts, I found something that kind of threw me for a loop. One of the first ever witness accounts I ever saw was this one.
So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister, and my nephew, and then we see a whole crowd of people just running out in a direction. As soon as we saw it, we were like, oh, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew and we followed the crowd. And then a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, we see these 3, 9, 10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. It looked like it was glitching. Not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And then you could see it in its full form, all 3 of them. And then, they were all black. You saw eyes and you could faintly see like lips. I was about like 20 feet away. You see, everybody gave it distance, right? And they were just standing there. And the thing that was a little bit weird, it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient. It was aware of us, looked at us, the whole crowd. And then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, kind of like it started like almost glitching again, we all ran. My brother like immediately said, yo, let's go. We see a whole sea of cop cars, mad cop cars.
I have never seen so many cops come out as I have right here at Bayside. There's like...
It was just interesting, the police response. This ain't for no teenagers. No, this was for something way bigger. And it almost seemed like the cops had like an already made strategy for it, because they surrounded one of the beings with like all their police cars. You could see on the side of the building, that clip that everyone's seeing, that it was slowly walking. It seemed more like it was an interdimensional thing. The thing that was a little bit weird, it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient. It was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd. And then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, it started like almost glitching again. And for anyone that's like saying, where's the footage? Where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage. And I'll explain why. Because like when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch about it. Like, I froze. I don't care who you are. I feel like when you're seeing something paranormal, it's different than when you're seeing a fight. Yeah, you'll probably want to record that and put it on WorldStar or whatever. When you see something paranormal, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. Your first instinct is like, it ain't to like take out your phone and start recording. Your first instinct is like, I've never seen this before. What is this? Is it gonna hurt me? That was my first #1 priority.
Okay, so first off, I gotta say that last thing he said I think is a really good point. I think people underestimate how insane it would be to see something that completely breaks your understanding of reality. Everyone's always gonna ask, why didn't you record it? I can say personally, I had an experience where me and about 5 to 7 other individuals swear we saw what looked like a UAP, UFO, middle of the day. There was a white dot in the sky, floating. Not a single one of us pulled out our phones and started recording. To this day, I can't really tell you why. All I know is we were all stuck doing this, just trying to compute. Is that a plane? No, not a plane. What could it be, a balloon? I mean, it could be, but no, it definitely doesn't look like a balloon. That's the extent of the... Oh, poor Darty. That was the extent of the conversation. A lot of back and forth, and by the time you even thought like, oh, let me grab my phone, it's gone. So I get that. Secondly, I just thought at the time, how could you not believe this guy? This dude sounded so soft-spoken and sincere, I usually default to believing witness accounts, especially when there's multiple witnesses. If it was me and I saw what I saw and I'm telling somebody that and being like, you didn't see that, bro, shut the hell up. So I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but that doesn't mean I'm a sucker. It comes with some limitations, which we'll go over in just a moment. But at the time, first impressions, very sincere. Personally, I can relate to this point about why he didn't have any footage. Anyway, I kept digging and found another witness. And, well, let's play the next clip.
Our situation a little bit different is that I do have footage, and I didn't take it on a smart.
Wait. Hold on a second. That's the same guy. Am I crazy? This is the same guy. I would say this is where everything started to get really weird, but like, let's be real. If you're already familiar with the Miami Mall incident, then you will likely know this gentleman known as Fitz, or a guy named Fitz, I believe was his TikTok handle at one point when his page was still active. And if you know this man, you probably already know some of the story. He might be one of the most polarizing people or witnesses related to the Miami Mall situation. So in the first account, he said he wasn't able to record for the reason he explained. In the second account, for whatever reason, suddenly he had footage. And how did he get that footage exactly?
I do take a VHS camcorder. And that night, when everyone was getting their phones confiscated and files deleted, nobody noticed that I had a VHS camcorder. Yeah, I have the footage here.
A VHS camera? Huh? Okay, so let me get this straight. The cops, they were like, what do you got there? Video camera? No, we don't need that. I don't even know what he would use that for. We were just told to check cell phones. Video cameras, allowed. That doesn't even matter. The important part is suddenly he does have footage, and he didn't just have footage, he had a VHS video camera, which, I'm sorry, but who's walking around with a VHS video camera? Do you know how big those things are? They have to fit a VHS in it. If you don't know what it looks like, hold on one second, because I just realized I wore the wrong shirt for this video. This, in the middle of my shirt, is what humans used to refer to as a VHS tape. Now, here we have a floppy disk, and all the way on the other side here by its lonesome, we have what we called a cassette tape back in the day. The important part about this right now is that the middle one, that's way bigger than all the other ones, there we go, way bigger than all the other ones, is a VHS tape. Now, to have a VHS camcorder, you gotta have a camcorder where this VHS tape can fit inside the camcorder, and then you hold it and film, sometimes even over the shoulder, like a missile launcher. That's right, these cameras were basically equivalent to a missile launcher sized piece of equipment you would carry around. So bro had this on him, but the cops were like, next, let me see your phone. What's that thing? A camera? Yeah, no, we're not worried about cameras. Did you record anything on your phone? Even if it was like a high-tech one for the time that was kind of smaller, still seems kind of strange that of all days of the year, of all locations, the one person in the entire country probably walking around with a VHS camcorder just so happened to go to the mall at the exact time, at the exact date that 9-foot-tall interdimensional aliens or beings, depending on who you ask, decided to drop in and make an appearance. That's fantastic news for us. And even more lucky for us is as that individual is leaving the place where the cops were allegedly taking people's phones, deleting footage, saw him, presumably saw this over-the-shoulder missile launcher of a camera, and decided, okay, you're good, you can leave, but you make sure you delete your footage on your phone now, okay? Let him go with the camera? Okay, great. That means we got some actual footage. Let's see it. Play the tape. I'm being told we don't have footage. Is that accurate? Right. Okay, so apparently we don't have tape or footage or visual evidence with this camcorder that he had. And I'm sorry, but why don't we have that footage again?
Because we're still waiting to see how everything plays out. It's still an ongoing situation at this moment. We're working with, a media team to tell our story in the right way, and in a way where we can share footage in a safe way.
Bro. Who are you, Marvel? Putting out the next Avengers movie? What media team? Secondly, I agree, there is a right way to release the footage. You take it, you upload it, and you hit freaking post. You got footage of 9-foot-tall interdimensional aliens or beings, if you ask him. You might be the only one in the world, and your approach to handling that is sit on it. And not just sit on it, but then do interviews telling everybody that you have this footage while also not releasing it. But wait, weren't you releasing footage footage? What was he releasing then if it wasn't actual footage from the camera?
I've just been sharing a lot of like reenactments and stuff that's close to our experience so that people can get an idea.
Okay, so now not only do you have footage from a camera that you didn't have originally, but now you have that's the size of an over-the-shoulder missile launcher. The cops let you go with it. You're sitting on it, but your media team, aka Marvel Studios, is working on the right way to release it, which apparently for some reason is not to just upload it to the internet and hit post so that the world can see what could be potentially the most important footage anyone's ever recorded.
It's the most important tape in human history.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot, that this could be the most consequential piece of footage in human history. Yeah.
Wow. Instead, wait, let the media team, Marvel Studio, work on the proper way to release it, and in the meantime, release fake footage that's a representation of the real footage you're sitting on currently. I'm just trying to let my brain do the math on this quick. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. I've determined. I don't understand. Like, my biggest question is, what media team? And listen, there is a proper way to release footage. You upload it and then you hit post. You post it. I do it frequently, not frequent enough, and I promise I'll get better at that. But either way, all you gotta do is load the footage and hit post. Oh, upload button right there is right on it. I'll show you how to do it. Just call me up. That's the process, bro. You upload the footage. I'm sorry. He's giving me a headache. Let me gain my composure here. If this is real and you're a real witness, why are we making this so complicated? Wouldn't your first instinct be, holy crap, everybody, look at this. Would you look at these beings I saw? I recorded these beings. And if you're worried about your safety, stop doing interviews, I guess would be my other thought. If you're not familiar with his story, we'll compact it a little bit for you. Did these interviews, his story changed from the first time he did an interview to the second time he did an interview. Supposedly, he had the footage and he was dropping little videos on his social media saying, they're after me, the police and the government are looking for me. Then he said he got detained by them and there was some explosion or something and he ended up detained and put in the hospital.
So after the explosion, they detained you and took you to the hospital.
And somehow in that hospital while detained, he had his camera with him, or his phone, maybe it was his VHS over-the-shoulder camera. He was able to record in the hospital while detained, then made an escape, continued to drop little nuggets and videos here and there, and then, poof, disappeared. It's exhausting. Then, after a lot of speculation, he released a video himself, essentially saying, well, I'll just play a quick clip from it.
Oh, guys, hey, this is Fitz. I'm okay. I just want to let you guys know everything's fine. I'm not actually in a manhunt. This is actually just a film project, and it's like a little character that I've created around the Bayside thing. My bad if it affected you that way. I owe you one. You might not like me, but I still like you. Yeah, so basically admitting to faking it. I just want to say before we go any further, this all is starting to smell a bit psyop-y to me. Have you heard the word psyop-y before? Pretty sure I just coined the term. If you do use it, just make sure you give me credit, please. That's all I ask. If the government were really after him, this wouldn't be the first time we would have videos released that we suspect someone was potentially coerced into making. Secondly, if you were trying to protect yourself, maybe you would also make this video. But also, if you were being psyop-y, and you wanted people to think you were being coerced into making this video, this is also the type of video you make. Do you see where we're at here? This is just a big old mind f***. But when I started thinking about the psyop part of it, it reminded me of some things that were said in his first interview. Don't pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout. I'm sure that someone had footage from that night. If you did, please contact me just so that we actually have it.
The way I look at it, there's 4 possible scenarios to this, and follow along and let me know if you agree with any one of these or which one you think is most likely. First scenario, complete clout chasing from the beginning. Never was there, was never a witness, made it up the first time, didn't get enough clicks or did get enough clicks and just wanted to embellish and turned it into this whole thing he calls an attempt to be a filmmaker. Second option, he was a witness. His first account was accurate. Then he changed his tune. Why would he change his tune? Same motivations as the first option, potentially clout chasing or realizing I'm getting a lot of attention. So I'm gonna kind of run with this a little bit. I was there and I did see something, but let's see what we can get out of this situation. Third option, again, he was a witness and again changed his story, but maybe it wasn't his choice to change his story. It's well known that there's more than one approach to censoring a particular event, let's say. There is outright censorship, but that's not the only way because you can't possibly get everything, right? Although it seems like they did a really good job with this Bayside Mall incident. It really seems like they got almost everything. But for what's left, make witnesses change their story. And maybe they become less credible. One witness becomes less credible. Maybe you're not likely to believe another witness. One witness testimony completely contradicts another witness testimony. Who do you believe? What's real? Put enough information out there that nothing actually sticks. You keep everyone's head spinning and everyone confused. So even if they hear what is the true eyewitness account, how would you ever know? And I think that motivation can be assigned to the final 2 potentialities here. He changed his story and maybe he was encouraged to change his story. It's a possibility. The fourth option, he's not a witness at all, and this is a complete psyop from the beginning, essentially a planted witness to muddy the waters. You come out with one story, you have another story, you keep changing it, you embellish it, then you say I was making it up the whole time. Make sure you cry in the video and you're super sincere and authentic, and you get me to even think like, how could this guy not be telling the truth? I literally watched that first interview and thought, wow, I believe this guy. I think he was there. Then you watch the second interview, and if that was the only interview you saw and you didn't see the first one, you'd probably feel the same way. Like, wow, I believe this guy. He must have been there. I mean, he's crying. He was in tears. He was emotional about what he experienced. They say in order to join the CIA or the deep state, you actually have to be a partial sociopath. You really can't have normal human type empathy or emotions in order to do what that job requires of you. And that could explain why someone could be that sincere and seemingly emotional and serious, but at the same time, not a word of it was true. Now, what's the advantage to that, you ask? Well, like I said, here we are. We're questioning this eyewitness who seemed so believable. And now when we do our next video and I show you these other eyewitnesses who I actually do believe, now we have to like think, could they be also making it up? And that's the whole point. And that sucks. And I hate that because I think the witnesses that we're going to cover on the next video, I think they're about as believable as it gets. And to my knowledge, they have not changed their stories, nor have they continued to chase clout, because I don't think they even know what clout is. I'm really looking forward to doing the video on those next set of witnesses. But in the meantime, I laid out 4 options and I'm curious what you think. Is he a legit witness? Did he just get a story wrong the first time? Was he forced to change his story? Or do you think he was never a witness? A potential planted witness to sort of muddy the waters and discredit any other witnesses that could come out? Because think about this, like we haven't seen one verifiable piece of security camera footage or body cam footage. I've seen police departments release body cam footage for significantly more serious things and for less serious things just to show the public. Damn, I am so sorry, Darty McFly. I'm gonna have to change his location. The fact that hundreds of law enforcement officers showed up and we don't have any evidence, it's like most of the evidence has been taken care of, I guess. All that's really left to control is witnesses, and what a way to discredit witnesses by having somebody change their story repeatedly and come out and say, oh, I was lying the whole time. And the reason I am genuinely curious what y'all think is because while I did research for this video and over the last few months, I see a lot of support for this Fitz individual online. And I get that sentiment because if I only saw that first interview, I would feel the same way. I'm not here to support any individual person. I'm only here to support finding the truth. I have a hard time believing we're ever going to get there when it comes to this topic, but one thing we're going to do is not let it go. And I'll add one more thing. I've had a few people reach out claiming to be witnesses on this. Most of the time, those conversations either end abruptly or they sound weird. On at least one occasion, the conversation felt more like they were trying to find out what I actually knew as opposed to sharing what they know with me, which found that a little concerning. All I know is we need to know what happened. All we can do is keep asking questions, keep doing research, and see if we can come up with something. So if you've heard anything, or you know a witness, or you've spoken to a witness, or even if you've seen someone who's commented on TikTok or YouTube or somewhere that they are a witness, let me know. Forward them to me at Conspiracy Ninja in any video where there may be witness testimony. I'd love to be able to interview someone or talk to them privately and get some information if possible. All right, I think that covers it. So as promised, I will keep digging on the Miami Mall. We'll make sure to have a follow-up video. Thank you all for the support. I appreciate everyone. As always, stay safe, stay grounded, and I'll see y'all on the next video. That's a floppy disk, they used to call them. The first Doom I ever played. The first time I ever played this game here was on one of these bad boys. This is way back in the day. I was a very little kid, but you had to take this and put it into the computer, and then this came on and you got to play Doom. And boy, what an experience that was. This is a cassette tape. Back in the day, if your car didn't have a CD player, which we'll probably have to explain what a CD player even was. You had to use the cassette with the little wire that came out of it, and then put the CD in a Walkman, and then plug the aux cable from this thing into your Walkman, and then that's how you listen to CDs on old ass cars. I know, it's crazy. We just didn't have Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, wireless Bluetooth connection. You actually had to have CDs, and if your car had a CD player, you were balling, bro. So yeah, those were the good old days.